say hi?
Hi. One room again, but
Say, I'll see you later.
I'm in the one room again, but I'm in the one room again.
You can tell everybody I'll see you later.
But then I'm the one.
Say, thanks for watching the video.
Thank you.
Say, I'll talk to you guys later.
Talk to you later.
Say good night.
Good night.
I'll see you in the morning.
I'll see you in the morning. Peace. Peace.
Hey guys, so this is Vlogmas day 2 for me, but it's really day 4. So I had a super fail. We had a set time that we're supposed to be leaving for Vegas, and I got my car packed, got my uniform, my bags and stuff in the trunk, and guess what I forgot? My wigs. Yes, I left my wigs. Major fail, and I just don't have the time to turn around. So I'm gonna look. I think I have some stuff in the trunk, but I don't think they're actually like work appropriate wigs, so I might be wigless this weekend, which is kind of sad because I was really looking forward to wearing I was gonna wear my Vanessa, the seaside part. I don't freaking forgot what it is, but the one that I did a video on that looked like fairy or whatever, Milky's I think is what it was. I was gonna bring that one, and I totally forgot it. And I forgot my work pants, so now we're gonna have to try to stop by a Target so I can look for something to wear for the work dinner. So yes, major fail for me. And my hair's just in a bun. I don't know if you guys can see it. Very simple today. I need to put some earrings in, and then I'll be ready to go. So this is my office. I got a little conference table, and this is an award that my executive officer gave me when I left my unit. And then this is my airborne picture, and that's me right before we were about to get ready to jump out of a plane. And I am, where am I? I'm right there. That was when I dyed my hair like a very auburn red. That's me. Airborne certified, jumped out of a plane 5 times. And I'll show you guys my basic training picture. This is, where am I at? Oh, that's me. Look like I'm a little kid. In my office, which is a mess right now. I got the family pics, of course. You got to keep some hair products in the office. Family pics when I was preggo with Jace. And this is another basic training picture. I was 23 in this picture. Yeah. All right, guys, that's pretty much all my office has to offer. I'll see you guys when I get to Vegas. I'll show you guys what the room looks like.
These have the trash.
Yeah, I'm recording, by the way, but.
Hey, your Wi-Fi. It's your last name, room number.
Okay.
Pick the basic free. Okay?
Okay.
Extra pill right now.
Cool.
Okay. The fridge. There's 2 bottles of water. We'll put that there every day. If you need more, let us know, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thermostat right behind you.
Okay.
Okay. Extra hangers, ironboard and safe.
Okay.
Pretty simple. And then in the bathroom, 3 sets of towels.
Okay.
2 behind the door, 1 in the hairdresser room.
All right.
Our pool stays open till 6. Jacuzzi's 24 hours.
You guys have is it the pool heated?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then on the 2nd floor, full body spa and fitness center.
Okay.
Fitness center's 24 hours.
Cool.
And then we got 7 restaurants, food court, buffet, movie theater on the other side. Go get the rewards card.
Okay.
So you $5 off the buffet, and all the other restaurants, show them, they let you know what's discount you get.
Okay.
Okay?
Cool.
And
Thank
we
you.
have everything on the other side too.
All
We
right.
just opened up Starbucks too.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Alright guys, so I decided to kind of do this in a different format. I'm in my room. So yeah, so we're gonna do Vlogmas day 4, really, but yeah, Vlogmas day 4, and this is going to be probably like a part 1 because my story is really, really long. So I decided to just go ahead and start with like my army story. But to start with my army story is kind of, I kind of have to start like with my life. So I guess you guys will kind of find out a little bit about me. So I'm a military brat. My dad was in the military. Both of my grandparents were in the military. They were both in the army. They fought during Vietnam. And then my grandmother, my dad's mom, was also in the army. She was in the Women's Army Corps, which is very rare. There was not a lot of women in the army then. So she actually did like deploy, and she went to Japan. She played basketball for the women's team. And so, yeah, she was like an administration specialist. And she actually, before she got out, she made it to E5. So that is kind of like the history of people in my family that were in the army. My uncle was in the army. He retired as a lieutenant colonel. I have a cousin by marriage and a cousin by blood that were in the Army Medical, and they retired as colonels. So I have a lot of family that were in the Army. Like I said, my dad was in the Army. At one time, all of my siblings, including myself, were in the Army. So I grew up in the Army. I was born in Georgia, and then I moved to Germany. I lived in Germany for 6 years. Then I moved to Kentucky. I was in Kentucky for 5 years, and then after that I moved to Texas, and I was in Texas for 2 years, and I graduated from Texas. So after Texas, I moved back to Georgia and went to college, and that's where I got my bachelor's degree. So my bachelor's degree is in communication, and while I was in college, basically I got a scholarship, not a full ride or anything like that. Like Columbus State is where I graduated from, is like it's a university, but it's more on like a community college scale. I mean, they've gotten a lot bigger now since I've gotten out, but yeah, it's not like you don't have to pay like Georgia State University prices, if that makes any sense. So it's a little bit more affordable to go to Columbus State. So I went to Columbus State, and the first year I had it helped pay for college, but it didn't pay all of the fees, and I had 2 scholarships. So that was my first year. My parents paid the rest, and then after that, I got one of those scholarships my second year, and my parents helped pay for the rest. Now, when I started college, my parents did help pay for college, but they were not going to help pay for, any extra food, I don't remember whether they helped pay for books, but I do remember that like they said that basically like all of our graduation money was like money that we had to budget for like food and stuff like that. So let's say I got, $2,000 of graduation money. That money we were supposed to budget throughout the year so we won't have to work. Now, I was not the type of person. I wanted to have more than that, you know what I mean? Like I wanted to be able to go out to eat with friends, pay for gas, because my parents ended up buying like a Honda like from my aunt. So they paid for the car that we were driving, which was a stick shift, which was crazy to learn how to drive, but we learned how to drive it, me and my sister. But I wanted to, I needed to have gas to drive. I needed to have money for food, clothes if I wanted to go shopping, whatever. So that was the start of me working. I had never had a job before I got into college. So I started working, and my first job was at Eddie Bauer. If anyone remembers Eddie Bauer, I still remember these interviews like it was yesterday. But you know, I interviewed for the job. Eddie Bauer was like definitely not my style, but you know, I can sell pretty much anything, you know. So I walked in there, you know, I made sure like, hey, you need to have eye contact, you need to get a firm handshake, make sure you smile, be confident, you know, and ask a good question when they say, hey, do you have any questions? Have some knowledge about the brand. And so during that interview, you know, they were like, okay, well, we're going to make you go on the floor and see, you know, what's your selling techniques. So I was not ready for that. But I went on the floor and I guess I did a good enough job to get hired. So they hired me there and I worked there for a good 6 months, and then I like decided that that wasn't enough money. So I applied for Cece's Pizza, and so I started working at Cece's Pizza and Eddie Bauer at the same time. Now, this is where my greed comes into play, and I would not recommend this for any college student, especially if you're living at home and your parents are like helping you pay for school. If you don't have to pay for college, like, I mean, if you don't have to work like 2 jobs, then don't. But I got like addicted to the money, and so I got another job, and these were both part-time jobs, but I got another job and I started working at Cece's and Eddie Bauer. So basically, like, Cece's started giving me more hours, and so Eddie Bauer didn't really like that because I wasn't available as much as I could be. So they started cutting my hours, and then eventually I quit. So I started working at Cece's, and all throughout college, I just pretty much worked 2 jobs unless I got laid off. So when I was working at Cece's, I started working at Dillard's. So I was working at Cece's and Dillard's at the same time. Then I think I quit Cece's and I was just working at Dillard's. Then Dillard's laid me off, and then I in Georgia they have a rule where if you're going to college, then you don't have to like find another job. Basically, like, you can just show your not your receipts, but you can show like your time, like get your professors to sign off that you were in class, and you'll get unemployment. So that's what I did with Dillard's unemployment for about 6 months. So I worked at Dillard's for like a year until they laid me off, and then I got unemployment. And I was still working at Cece's, and then I started working at like kind of like a boutique store in the mall. And then I got a job at a leasing agency in Columbus, which was a really big deal for me. I was like super nervous when I went on the interview, but I know I can sell stuff. So, and I've always loved real estate. Like, I love watching HGTV. And so I got that job, and that, like, the property management, showing apartments, that was like one of my favorite jobs. And so I started working there, and so I quit Cece's, and then yeah, so I was working at the property management, and at one time, I forgot when this happened, but I quit Cece's and then I started working back at Cece's again. I think that was after Dillard's laid me off, but anyway, so then I was working, and then I even worked at Johnny Carino's. Like, I've worked all kinds of different jobs. But yeah, so I got the property management leasing job, and then there was like a new Walmart opening up, so I applied for that, and that was a full-time job that I was applying for, and this was my last year of college. So right before my last year of college, I applied for the Walmart that was opening up, and this was my second favorite job. Like, the leasing job and Walmart are my 2 favorite jobs that I've had other than the Army. And so I got the job, and I happened to move out of the house right after that, because, you know, my parents were really, really strict, which is good, but I just needed my own space. So when I moved out, I got a call like maybe 2 weeks later. Like, I was also waitressing at a nightclub, and so like the boss and his niece let me stay with them for a couple weeks, and while I was staying with them, Walmart called me and they were like, hey, you're hired. So I helped Walmart build the store. So we put like the shelves in, we, you know, stocked everything from like it was nothing, and we built that whole store. And so I was an electronics sales associate, and so I did cashier, and then I also stocked at night. So I worked from like 11 to 7. I would go to school from like 7 till 3. I would take naps in my car. I would take my comforter and pillows in the car and take naps. Honestly, guys, I do not recommend this. I do not recommend this. Like, I don't know how much I can say this, but I don't recommend this. Like, if you can do one part-time job, just do one part-time job. Like, don't get a full-time job and a part-time job, because some days I would go to like work at the leasing job from like 12 to 4, and then I would have to find time to do homework and take a nap, which I wasn't finding time to do homework, which is why my GPA is where it is right now. So yeah. So anyways, I made a friend that was in the Army over my time being in Georgia, because Fort Benning's right there, and she became a recruiter. And so she's kind of the one that was like, hey, you know, you're about to graduate, like there's a program called the OCS program. And so yeah, she told me about the program, and I was like, okay. So I checked it out and I applied for it. Like, she got my whole packet together. She was actually based in New York, so I flew out to New York, interviewed for the board. They said, yes, you're good to go. And then, so I graduated in December of 2009, and then I was in basic training February 24th. Or December 28th, 2008 is when I graduated, and February 24th, 2009 is when I went to basic training. And so yes, I will end this here. That is pretty much how I got into the military. And so why did I join the military, I guess, is the next question. So yeah, if I happen to have left anything out about college, then leave it down below, and on the next Vlogmas I will answer the question of why I joined and how it's been going so far. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you guys later.